Hey everyone, I'm here today with Danny West, who is a coach and leadership trainer. He'll probably give his job title a bit more concisely than I just did there. But thanks for joining us, Danny. I know Danny personally from the Radar Leadership course, where Danny's been amazing at helping me with some personal coaching as well. And I wanted to talk to Danny on identifying the ideal job because he's got a lot of areas of expertise to share with you. So, Danny, do you want to kick off with an introduction of yourself?
Yes, I will do. Hi, Martin. Yes, my name's Danny West, and Martin pretty much got my job right. So I'm a coach and a trainer, and I'm also a leadership consultant. So I spend my working time working primarily with people with disabilities, impairments, and long-term health conditions. And most of the programs I get involved in are around developing people's leadership skills, but also enabling people back into work. So typically in coaching sessions with my clients, we spend time putting together a really sort of top-notch CV. We spend time exploring the ideal job for that person and thinking about ways of actually achieving getting that job.
Mm-hmm.
And we spend time practicing practicing interview skills.
Okay.
And interview scenarios.
Sure, and we'll probably come on to a couple of those in the next module as well. But in
Yeah.
terms of on identifying the ideal job, are there any sort of hints or tips or practices that you can share
Right.
with the viewers?
Yeah, I mean, I returned to work I think it was 8 years ago, having been out of work for 14 years. So there's a huge gap in my CV.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out of work because of ill health. And when I came back to the job market, the job that I wanted didn't exist.
Okay.
So I set about creating my own job. I became self-employed, and that's something that's quite common amongst people with disabilities. They become self-employed and do their own thing, use their own skills to earn money, to do the work they want to do in the world.
Yeah.
So I created my own job.
Okay.
Now, the way I went about doing that was by being very clear about the skills and the strengths I had.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spent a lot of time thinking about that and writing those down. And one of the tools that I use with people in coaching is something called a SWOT analysis: skills, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's going to be available through this e-learning program. You'll be able to download one, and you can fill it in on your own at home, or you can fill it in with a friend or a colleague. And it's a way of being able to identify what your skills are, what your strengths are, and your interests are, things that you really want to be doing.
Yeah.
What your weaknesses are, what the things are that you need to develop. So that might throw up some issues around things you need to, more education that you might need, or more training that you might need.
Mm-hmm.
What opportunities are out there in the world already? What exists now? And thinking about that, and thinking about how you could access those, and then looking at any threats, any obstacles that might prevent you from actually getting the job that you want.
Okay.
Ultimately, getting your job that you want is about knowing what you're passionate about. It's about knowing what you really want to do.
Yeah.
And then either creating that job yourself or going out into the job market and finding a job that either meets all the criteria of the job that you want to do, which is unlikely. Most jobs don't meet all the criteria.
Sure.
But some jobs will have some of those elements in there.
Yeah.
Okay? And then it may be that that is sufficient enough for you to get the the reward, to be motivated to continue developing your skills within that particular role.
Brilliant.
So it's about doing that, really. It's about really knowing what your skills are, really knowing what you need to develop, and then getting on with it and developing it. It's about being proactive.
Yeah.
It's about accessing opportunities out there. And it's about knowing what's going to get in the way, knowing what the barriers are going to get. Now, disabled people, you know a lot about barriers. Okay, you spend your whole lives overcoming them. So all you've got to do is figure out what the barriers are, think about strategies for overcoming them, and then work towards identifying and finding that job out there, or creating it for yourself, or getting somebody to create it for you.
Brilliant, lads.
We all know people in the disability sector.
Yeah.
We can talk to them. We can perhaps begin to talk to them and have a dialogue with them about how they create jobs, the job that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. That's going to be very helpful for the viewers to, like you say, sit down and kind of take stock on their strengths, their weaknesses, and look what's out in the external environment. And then obviously the next module will help them then to be looking on recruitment sites or how to go self-employed and sort of take that starting point to press on with. So thank you very much for sharing that, Danny.